Hi guys, Ray from loveyourrv.com, and it's sort of a cold, blustery early September day here, and the weather's starting to turn. Summer's over, so things are starting to cool down, and our furnace is starting to come off a lot more often. So I think it's time for me to pull that out and have a look. Maybe do an inspection on the furnace. I've never pulled it out in 6 years, and I'm sure it's full of dog hair and debris. Also, we've had a few mice in the rig, so I'm wondering if they got in there as well. So that's what I'm going to do today. Our furnace lives behind this panel underneath the fridge. It's a Suburban furnace. I'm not exactly sure the model, but it's pretty easy to get out. There's a few screws, and I got some things to undo. So you can see there's 4 wires coming down to it there for power, and I imagine the thermostat. And then I have my gas line here to disconnect. Probably be able to pull it straight out and have a look at it. Over on that side there's another vent that goes to the basement. So it sort of does a forced air effect. Power's down, it comes out into our vents underneath the floor. Okay, so I should get the disclaimer out of the way. Because we're working with gas, LP gas, and electricity, it's not advisable anybody does this themselves. It should be done by a certified RV technician or gas guy, appliance guy. So if you do it yourself, you could be voiding your warranty. If you do it wrong, don't get the gas right, you could burn your rig down, etc., etc. So, but I'm going to pull it out because I want to actually see how it works in case I ever have to repair it. I like to repair things myself. Also, if these days you take something to an RV place, it can be a month before you can even get an appointment. So that's what I'm going to do, but not advising it for people that don't really know what they're doing or if they're afraid to do it. Anyway, let's get to it. Of course, I've turned the gas off. I also ran the stove and bled whatever was left in the lines out. Also, I think I'm probably going to just leave the DC on. You could disconnect the battery, but I'm not going to. I won't short it out. So I got the cover off here, and right away you can see this is the burner chamber, and I believe, this is probably, if it overheats, it cuts off, turns off the furnace if it gets too hot. That's probably what that is, a little thermostat. So it looks like we got 3 screws on the front there to undo to get it up off the floor. So first I'll disconnect that gas line there. You can see there's a T in there. Gas line coming in. In a past modification, I T'd it for my Big Buddy heater. Ran a line for it so I can use that in the winter. Okay, so I disconnected that piece over there. There's just a little tab at the top, slides it out. Got rid of my gas, and I just put this temporary little thing so it's out of the way. And I've undone the screws at the bottom, so this thing should just pull out. I think it's press fit to the outside vents, so I'm just going to have to yard on it a bit to get it out of there. Got her slid back. Next task is going to be these wiring. You can see there's a yellow, red, and 2 blue wires in there. And unfortunately there's no connector you can disconnect. So I'm going to have to cut them and then reconnect them again. It's kind of a stupid thing. They go up into the wood up there. I tried to find where they went, but they just disappeared into the wall. pulled out the fridge panel. I couldn't see where they went, so I think I'll just cut them and then I can reconnect them when I put the furnace back in. But that's all it takes to get her to slide right back out now. Woohoo, there we go. Got her out. So I put tape on one of the blue wires on both sides. I imagine that's the thermostat wire, so it might not matter which way you put it, but just in case there's a polarity going on there, make sure I don't hook it up backwards. You can see the output ports there, fresh air input and exhaust output for the burner. They just press fit, there's no connection there. And there's my vent going down to the basement for underbelly heating of the tanks and stuff like that. And then that's where the forced air goes through for the ducted system in the floor. And yeah, there's quite a bit of dog hair in there. So we're going to have to clean all that out. And maybe I'll take the covers off of this thing and inspect it. Suburban. I don't see a model number anywhere. Excuse me, are you missing something? Does this belong to you? Excuse me, does this belong to you? Nope. So, got that metal cover off. There was just one screw to take off and it slid back. And it looks like it's the model here, SF-30F. So, there's a little bit of debris here and there. So maybe I'll clean it up. I'm going to go online, see if I can see the service manual. And I can go through and maybe show you what some of the parts of this thing do, how it actually works. Okay, so I did find the service manual for this online, which was kind of nice. Showed me how everything works and any troubleshooting steps if I ever need to repair the thing. I'll put a link in the description below to that. It covers quite a few of the Suburban furnaces. I found out the blue wires are definitely go to the thermostat, and red is positive 12 volts. The yellow is your ground, negative 12 volts. So yeah, there's a few things that could go wrong. One of them is, it says if this stuff gets too gummed up in here or dirty, that can cause a problem with airflow. And inside this squirrel cage here, I think it's down here, and these wires here inside there's what they call a sail switch, which is a small switch with I don't think I can see it in there, but basically the wind that's created, or the suction that's created by that fan, keeps that switch engaged. So if the fan slows down, then what's called the sail switch will cut off, and then the furnace cuts off. So if you have a problem with erratic operation, it could be dirty fans or a faulty sail switch. There's also that thermostat device on the front here. That's in case this thing gets too hot, it'll cut it off. So that could go faulty and cause a problem as well. And then up here there's a control board that controls all that, and you could get something going wrong on that, loose connection or something going off on the board. Let's put this down. Yeah, so basically this is your outside tubes. One tube sucks the air in, and these fans spin. This is your fan to force the air in the room. This fan here is your combustion fan. So the air is sucked inside from outside, goes through the combustion chamber. In here is your gas line going down inside there. So your burner's in there. So the burner fires and the air is forced through it, and the heated air goes all through these tubes, heats all that up, and then it gets exhausted outside. So that's that outside exhaust. You feel it, hot air coming out. And then this big squirrel fan forces air through all that, and then she goes out to duck, and you have a nice, happy, heated camper. So it looks pretty clean. They say you want to inspect this for any rust or any corrosion, because the problem is if you get a pinhole in this thing, you could be sending nasty air into your camper. Get carbon monoxide poisoning that way, so you want to make sure there's no holes or corrosion in that. A lot of people who live in areas with those nasty wasps, they like to go in there, fly in there and build nests in there, which can cause problems. Also, you know, mice could get up in here. For instance, I was worried about that hole right there. That goes down to my underbelly, so some little critter could crawl up that, and then they would be inside the furnace, and who knows what they could do. They could crawl in here and get killed if it came on. So, you know, you could get jammed up rodents in there. They could build a nest in there. Any kind of problems. So, but I'm happy to see mine. The only thing mine had was a lot of beagle hair. So I got that all cleaned up as best I could. You could disassemble it further. I'm going to leave well enough alone right now because it's really basically not dirty in there at all. So if I had saw evidence of stuff going on in here, I kind of peered in there, couldn't see anything. I'd have to take off this and check the burner. If I wasn't, you know, if the burner gets bad, you'd have to clean the burner. In the manual, it actually says once a year to pull all these covers and clean everything, pull this apart, clean the burner. Yeah, once a year, like anybody ever does that. You'd have to undo the gas here, it looks like. Undo all this, there's the gasket under there, so that'd be quite the job. But there you go. So, let's put her back in there and see if it still works. So to hook it back up, I'm just going to use butt connectors. If I was feeling a little more motivated, I might go and add a bunch of hookup wires so it could bring it right out for cleaning. Maybe I'll do that later. But that's all I'm going to do right now. Maybe next time. Well, got her all back in there. Definitely next time I'm going to extend those wires. That was a real pain in the butt putting those connectors on right at the very end of my reach. And I'm just finishing up with a bubble test on the propane connection there, make sure it's not leaking. It looks good. Okay, so I checked that a couple times with the soapy water and the mirror, make sure there's no bubbles at all. I don't smell any propane as well, so time to fire her up, see if she's working. Let's go here. Well, that's a good sign. Okay, so it comes on, usually the fan will run for 30 seconds and it'll ignite. I think I heard the burner ignite. So we'll just wait to see if we get some hot air coming out. Yep. Nice warm air coming out. Looks like we're back in business. There we go. Nice to have that all clean. And it's nice, just peace of mind to know that there's no mouse droppings and stuff in there. I was a little worried after we had that mouse in there that he crawled up and crapped all inside the furnace and it'd be blowing mouse turds all over the place. Anyway, that's it for today, but fairly soon, next few days, I've been wanting to add a valve to my T there where I teed it off. I'd like to add a shut-off valve right there, because when I installed that rubber hose over here, that's where the quick connect for my buddy, but the quick connect's the only thing stopping the gas there. So rather than put a valve at this end, I'd like to put it right at the furnace end there. And then, so that I can get access to it really easy, I want to modify this door, turn this into a door. This access panel just screws in, but I think I want to put some hinges in it, make it so I can quickly open it up and turn that valve on down there if I want to use my buddy. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, this is Ray from lovelyrv.com. Thanks for watching, folks. Cheers.